are you, Quentin?
13.
13. And you guys been here before?
We have. This is our 4th time as a family.
And then my 6th time.
Darren came in the 70s as
his age.
At Quentin's age.
And what brings you back?
It, frankly, was my happiest memories with my family growing up. Kind of a different family, whatever. We didn't take very many vacations when we came here. I'm not even sure why. We chose this, they chose this, but it was an amazing experience. And like I said, really some of my happiest experiences from being a kid. And even 30 years ago plus, when Michelle and I started dating, we came out to Boulder to hang out with some friends, and I said, there's this place, it's really important to me, and I don't even know if it's still there. And it was before the internet even a little bit, so it's like I did some scraping and made some phone calls, and it turns out this place, Sylvan Dale Guest Ranch, is still existing. It's the same owners that were there when I was a kid. I remember meeting Susan Jessup when I was 10 years old, and actually met her son and went and looked at his monster mask collection up at their house, and that's the thing, it's always been about like family, it's like I met her family when I was a little kid, and still here I am today. So we were visiting some friends, and I was like, let's see, and I called and I said, is it possible that we can come see this place, because I remember it so vividly from my childhood. And they're like, well, we don't normally do that, but you're kind of we understand what this is. And so they made a special exemption for us, and Michelle and I drove up here, and they put us on a horse and took us around. I think you kind of fell in love with it then too, because you've never seen anything quite like this.
It was beautiful. So I'm from like Western Pennsylvania, so just everything, just the diversity of the rocky, the mountains, the grasslands, and the trees and everything. It's just so, within a few minutes you're, in a completely different space, and it was probably like a 45 minute
hour ride we took.
It was just like, oh my God, this was so cool. It was awesome.
So when then our son got to the age, and I think the first one was like 5 or 6, we were like, okay, it's time. And that's when we decided that we would take a family vacation to Sylvandale. And
and the other thing was, it was right after the flood,
yeah, it was right
and
after,
they had a lot of
we wanted to help
devastation.
support.
And so he was like, oh, this would be a great opportunity for us to go there to support them, because they're obviously in a lot of need. And so that was our first time, and I think we just figured it out 2014. Yeah. So it was our first time as a family, and we were like 5 or 6. And so this is his first year in the adult program, and so it's a little different.
Do you remember your very first time here, Quentin?
Very vaguely. I remember a couple of the faces. I remember my horse, and I remember my experiences with the horse, which are, coming to a dude ranch, you would hope you would remember that.
Right.
At age 5.
It's all about the horses. Yeah, it's
true.
And so the next time we came, which is 2 years, we have a schedule. Every other year we come back. And so I had the same horse, and it's Partner. He was a good starting horse. He's pretty old at the time of my second visit. He's frustrating. Yeah.
Because you're like a flea on his back.
Yeah.
At that age.
So
he doesn't have much control, and
couldn't do much to rein him in. Ironic. And then 2 years ago, got my first fast horse, Lagarita, who was from another ranch, the one I'm told, and she is awesome. She was super fast, and she would pay attention and listen and focus. We had some pretty cool experiences, on the cattle drive. We did some pretty cool stunts, like jumping up a 3-foot slope, which was awesome and scary, but at the same time it's like that exhilarating, knowing that, wow, I just pulled off a stunt that a lot of people couldn't do.
Maybe not on purpose, but it worked, right? I mean,
you had enough training, and you were comfortable enough on the horse that you were able to I'll just roll. I'm going to roll with the motion and hang on, and It's all gonna be cool.
This year, we arrived at the ranch, and it turns out Margarita had hurt her shoulder, so we couldn't, or I wasn't able to be with Margarita again. So I got another horse named Stormy, and she's frustrating to say the least. She loves to eat.
And you can see it. She's a little wide.
She lived up to her name.
She does.
They had a stormy relationship.
Yeah. No, but it was a good. It was a good week.
she's a super.
She wasn't Margarita, but
She was a great horse. She would listen when I wanted her to, and like if I was direct enough and I'm like, we have to follow these cattle, she would follow the cattle. If we had to go off road, we would go off road. And I had another experience, just the opposite with Margarita though. Instead of jumping up, we jumped down. That was same place too on the cattle drive. It was around the same place, which is really weird. You wouldn't think coincidences like that would happen. It did. Once again, it was kind of a little bit scary, jumping down a 3-foot slope this time. I stayed on. She was calm. She didn't get spooked, and so we did that cattle drive. That's a fun experience, especially when we lose the cattle.
We had to spend 2 hours?
2 hours looking for the cattle.
Because it's not a pen; it's a real cattle drive, and they took them up the night before, and took them to this one pasture, but they're living animals. I mean, this isn't like Disneyland.
There was water there.
Yeah, you're not dealing with
fresh grass,
you're not dealing with
they would stay there.
Animatronics, right? They're real living animals, and the real living animals decided to go somewhere we weren't supposed to go to, and we had to find them. And so it took us a long time to actually
do a lot of reconnaissance and trampling of grass recon and cow patty recon. And
but I'll also say, as a father, one of the things that I thought was most amazing about this trip is they know us now. We've been here, this is our 4th trip, and they knew how much Quentin loved Margarita, or as he calls her, Boggy. And so Karen, who kind of just is the liaison between the ranch and the guests, whatnot, she made sure on the first day, after sort of breaking the news, that she just wasn't up to go. And again, they're living animals. The responsible thing was not to have her out doing this, even though she knew that's what Quentin wanted and that's what we wanted, but they've got to take care of the horses and the people. And so the first thing they did though was they went up and got her from the place where they keep the lame pasture, they call it, for the horses that are can't be out on the trails with guests. And they made sure they went and got her and brought her down so he could say hi and pet her and sort of say hi and spend some time with her. So I think that speaks to and even more of an opening, because next time we come here, maybe she'll be fine. And so they still have their relationship. But I think that's one of the things that maybe sets this place apart from other places and businesses, because it's not just like a business. They know us as a family now, and they treat us that way. And it's
the past experiences
we didn't.
And what's important to us.
Right. We didn't ask them to make sure that was available. That was all Karen making sure that, and even beyond as a business thing, it was as a human being thing. This would be important to this kid, and so let's do whatever we can do to make that a real thing. And that's the kind of thing that I think makes this place different, probably, and why after 40 years I'm still coming back. So
awesome. Be cool to see you bring your grandkids back someday.
Wouldn't it though?
You think you'd keep coming back?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's because it's a different experience every time. You never get the same experience twice.